recruiting, role playing, and that type of thing should time permit. So with that being said, I want to first talk about when we talk to people about, why they want to join. The first thing that we do when we recruit is we're building a relationship. So it's really important to get to know the person that you're talking to. Get to know what they want from the business, why they want to join the business, and really understand that. I believe I probably said this last week, but I talk to a lot of people and sometimes I forget, but building a relationship is different than building a friendship. You cannot be friends with everyone on your team. If you are, you're going to spend so much time being a friend that you're not going to have a business. So building a relationship is getting to know someone so that you can care enough that you're meeting their needs. Being a friend is knowing the intricacies of their life. When they had a fight with their husband and, that their Aunt Margaret stubbed their big toe. Having a business relationship, you should know kind of an overall view of their family. You should know if they're married, if they have children, maybe how old their children are, what kind of activities they do, because that affects their business. But other than that, you're really wanting to keep a business relationship in most cases. Now, I will tell you in this industry, friendships will happen, and that's one of the beauties of this thing. But you're not supposed to go out to try to become the friend of everyone. So I use this example all the time. I might have used it with you guys last week, but for example, John Wyckoff and I, our president, and I have a great business relationship. But I wouldn't necessarily say John's my friend. So if Mitch and I have some big fight, I'm not going to call John and tell him about it. But if something were to happen to my mom and she was going to be, let's say, in the hospital for a week, I would let him know because he's one of my bosses and that's going to probably affect my work. John could probably tell you the name of my kids if he thought about it around their ages, but he probably doesn't know where every single one of them live. And if they have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, he knows I have grandbabies, but he might not be able to tell you his name. That's what you have in a relationship, because the things that affect my life, he understands, but he doesn't have to know the intricacies of all of that. So how do you do that? The first thing that you do when you start recruiting is you start building a relationship. And there's just certain things that I think are good to know. And the reason these things are good to know is because we call it closing from the start. So we're going to clear objections at the very beginning by getting to know someone. And then we're going to use those things as we get to know them better to help them see how the business can really help them. Now, in your kit, you got these things. They're called your food cards, okay? And with your food cards on the back, it says learn about them. It says learn about their family or app. I always say family and friends. Learn about their occupation and their organizations, and learn about their outside interests, and then their dreams. So how do you do that in the form of questions? So if I'm going, and I want you to write these questions down because it'll really help you. So when I'm working with someone and I'm meeting them for the first time, especially if I'm doing this one-on-one, I know many of you probably know about my opportunity call that I'm doing right after this class. I won't be able to do it with everybody on the call. In fact, in a group, I won't necessarily be able to do it the same way. But when I sit down with someone one-on-one, the first thing I say to them is, tell me about yourself. Are you married? Do you have children? Do you work outside the home? Just tell me anything you think might help me get to know you a little bit better, so that I can personalize this business for you instead of giving you some canned spiel. Let me just say to you, if a canned spiel worked, we could just put a video on here and none of us would have to ever do any work. Now, how many of you out there thinks that really happens? No, it doesn't happen. You need to be able to talk to people. So with knowing that, you want to get to know them. And that's the most important thing, is get to know them. So how do you do that? So tell me about your family. Are you married, children? Do you work outside the home? So the first thing they say to me is, I'm married. And then I'm going to say, what's your husband's name? So I'm showing them that I care. And also because it feels more real when I'm talking to them if I call their husband by name. Do you have any children? His name is George, and I write down George. Because I'm taking notes, because that's what an interviewer does, and that's what a Coco Chat is. You're interviewing. Do you have any children? How old are they? What are their names? What sports are they in? What activities are they in? Oh, they're grown. That's great. That kind of thing. So you're getting to know them. You're learning about the things that's going to affect their time and the way they do business. Another question I love to ask is, have you ever done anything like this before? Have you ever been in a direct selling party plan business? And if they say yes or no, I like to find out, was it a good experience or a bad experience? The reason I want to know that is if it's a bad experience, so often it's because they had to carry inventory. That's what I hear most. And I want to say, you know what you're going to love about Deb is we actually discourage inventory. If they say it was a good experience, I'm going to say, well, tell me, what did you love about it? And it's usually the parties and the friends and the meeting, and I'm saying, you're going to love that about Deb. So I am showing them how if there's something that's kind of bothering them, it's not going to be a bother, but the things that they love, they're going to get to experience again. If they didn't have an experience, they've never done it before, I say, oh, great, that means I don't have any old habits to break. Or, I want you to realize it doesn't take experience. I just like to know so I can learn if there's anything that's been bothering you. So I always ask questions like that. I ask them what they currently do. Do they work outside the home? Are they full-time, stay-at-home mom or domestic goddess? What do they do? What have they done in the past? Because I can always oh, you work in computer program. Oh, then I think you're going to find using the system and putting your orders in really easy. Oh, you're a teacher. You know what? You're got a natural. You already do what we do. You just probably do it with younger people than we do it with. To build them up that they have already the skills and the talent to do this. I always want to know what would they do with the one on here that says dreams. What would they do with extra money? What would they do with an extra $500 to $1,500 a week? And if they were to do something like this, how much time would they invest? 5 to 10 hours, 10 to 15, 15 to 20. So if you notice, as I'm going along, when I'm asking them questions, I'm asking them just like we do when we're booking with some suggested answers. And I'm asking open-ended questions in most cases. Have you ever done anything like this as a yes or no? But then was it a good experience or a bad experience? Tell me about it. What is your husband's name? How would he feel about you going out and making an extra $100 to $150 in the evening in a couple of hours legally? And kind of laugh about it. You're lightening this up. You want them to know that this is going to be fun. It's a party plan. It's supposed to be fun. So with that being said, now I've learned a lot about them. And then when I start to share with them the food cards, which the reason we use these is because it helps us not give too much information. Now tonight, when I do this, I'll do it a couple of different ways so you can see it. But if I'm sitting one-on-one with someone, I'll have these cards laying out. They say time, money, simple, fun, and support. I'll say, pick out the card that resonates with you the most. And let's say they choose the one time. On the back of this card, I can say, well, tell me why is time so important to you? And most people are going to say, because I don't feel like I have much. Right? That's why time is important. They're very busy. Well, you know what you're going to love about this, Cindy, is it only takes about 2 to 3 hours to hold a party, not a long time. So you're only going to be out of your home maybe 2 to 3 hours, and it only takes about an extra hour or so to prep for your business and and then close out your business by putting your orders in. And you can do that at a time that suits you. It's going to be our website is open 24/7. But in that time, you can make anywhere from $100 to $160 in profit off an average $400 party. So how would that feel just to be out of your house 2 to 3 hours and make $100 to $160? Do you make that kind of money now? Or do you know of anywhere else you can get a part-time job, name your own hours, and be your own boss and make that kind of money? So you're creating in them what this is for them. You can choose your work days. All of this is right on the back of this card. You do not have to memorize it. You can just be holding it and reading it. Now you want to be familiar. So a set of these, like I believe they're on white cardstock, came in your kit. All I did was take mine and have them laminated. No different than yours. They're just laminated. That way they look good all the time and they look really, really professional.
Question.
Yes.
Do they come in the new kit? Because the kit that I got at the end of November did not have them.
They should have been coming in the kit in November. They should have been in they usually are in that little folder.
I did not have them.
I didn't get mine in September, Lori, but I do know that my new recruits have since then.
Okay, they're also on the connection. You can print them
I printed them out. My husband printed them out on some cardstock, so I've got them now, but I was just saying I didn't know if they were in or not.
Rebecca's saying she didn't get hers. I thought they did, but maybe they didn't. I thought they did buy them, but maybe they didn't. I could have been mistaken, but they do come in the kit now.
They do now.
Yes. Okay. So on them, you don't even have to know everything. We have tips on the back for you to visit about. These are the things that people want to know most importantly, or the things that are here. And you just ask them to choose a card, and then, or you can ask them to choose their top 2 cards, or after they choose one, say choose another. Most won't choose all of them, but what you're going to learn is what's important to them. If someone doesn't choose money, it's because they're not driven by the money. What's more important to them is how much time is it going to take them, is it simple, and what kind of support they're going to receive. They kind of may be already familiar with how direct sales works from a money perspective. Maybe not exactly our plan, but enough that they feel comfortable. But they want to know that they're going to have support and they're going to have enough time to do it and that type of thing. So that's why these are so good. For many of you, you may feel like you don't need these. And I get that. I don't need them either. However, I use them. And the reason I use them is because let's say I'm talking to Nicole. She's my prospect. If Nicole watches me use these, and let's say Nicole's not, words don't come as easy to her as they do to me, then Nicole's going to say, well, if Laura uses them and she's a top person at Dove, then I can use them too. Or if I don't use them, but I tell Nicole to use them, she's not going to say this out loud, but she's going to think, man, she might think I'm a little bit of a dummy because I can't figure it out on my own, right? And that's not what it's about. That's why we give you party cards, because we want everyone to see how easy and duplicatable this business is. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. That's what you have these for. When you're doing a group, now another thing I like to do with the food cards is when people are coming into my party, I use name badges, just like the little stick-on, hello, my name is, because I'm a real believer that people like to be called by name. Let me tell you, children like to be called by name. My husband runs a softball camp for 2 weeks, and Monday was day 1 of week 1. And I put a name badge on every single person. And, you know, when you'd walk over to those kids an hour after they got there and you go, you know, hey, Braylee, and she looks up at you like she knows my name. She has a name badge on. But at that moment, she just feels like, wow, she knows who I am. I made an impression. And even young children feel good when you call them by name. It gives them a sense of comfort and safety. So I love name badges. So when people come into my parties, I have them put on a name badge, write their name, and then I have these sitting out. I use them many different ways. I have these setting out on the table, and I ask them to put whatever one resonates the most underneath their name. So it might say Lissa, fun, Rebecca, support, Cindy, time, Sherry, money. You know, you never know. But when I'm talking about something, let's say I'm talking about how much fun we have. So Lissa has fun under her name. I'm not going to say, Lissa, I see you have fun under your name, but I might go, Lissa, doesn't that sound like a lot of fun? Because I know that's what appeals to her. When I'm talking about the support we receive, I might say, Sherry, have you ever felt that supported that you could just pick up the phone and there's always someone there to answer for you? So what I'm doing is I'm appealing and I'm speaking to the things that matter to them the most. Kind of makes you look like a mind reader in a really good way. Honestly, it does. It's pretty cool. Okay. But everything you need to know is right on the back. And then the next thing that is really important about recruiting is once you've learned about them, then you've taken what you learn about them and you share our story. That's what you're doing here. Here's the thing. We all love to tell this story about how Mars is 103 years old and they're a privately held company and they're the world's largest chocolate company and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Honestly, if those things mattered to people, they would be lined up outside our door every morning waiting to sign up. But people don't join a business, they join you. I tell people this, and I've probably said this to you guys before. No one joins your team if they don't like you and they don't trust you. And everyone joins your team expecting you to help them be successful. No one also joins your team to fail. Everyone joins to be successful. Now, success comes in all different levels. But if you knew I was never going to help you to be successful, would you join my team? If you didn't like me, would you join my team?
No,
If you didn't trust me, would you join my team?
definitely not.
Not on purpose, at least, right? So it's
I
very
was clueless. I didn't know any better.
Well, and I'm going to say sometimes we don't know who we're joining, but in most cases, we're going to look, if you're speaking to someone, but you weren't recruited really. You did what I call volunteered. And volunteers don't know what they're getting themselves into, right? Think how many times you volunteered for something and you didn't know what you're getting yourself into.
I just knew I loved Dove chocolate. I'm like, this is a no-brainer.
But if someone would have come to you that you knew you couldn't trust, didn't like, or wasn't going to help you, you wouldn't purposely join their team, right? So that's why it's important that we build that relationship with them so that they can feel that. And I have people say to me all the time, well, I don't want to tell her to do that or, ask her about her parties because this is her own business. It is her own business, but she joined or he joined trusting you were going to guide them. So if I buy a McDonald's franchise, do you think that I am trusting that McDonald's Corporation is going to help me to have a successful franchise? Or do you think I'm thinking, well, they're going to go, hey, it's her own business. She can do whatever she wants. If she needs help, call me. Heck no. When I make my investment, I am expecting them to be there by my side telling me what to do. But you go, it's your own business. They shouldn't tell you what to do. Yes, they should. I joined their business, or I could have opened XYZ hamburger on my own. But why do we join? Why would someone buy a McDonald's franchise? To get the help and support from a successful business and for brand recognition. Why do people join Dove Chocolate Discoveries? To get help and support or for a brand recognition, right? Same thing, just way different investment. But your commitment to them should be all the same, okay? So remember, don't say, I'm not going to ask her. Well, I told her if she wanted to, she could come to a training party. No. To be successful, you need to be at a training party. I have this one and this one. Which one do you want to come to? That's what makes people successful, okay? So, then the last thing that you do, once you tell the story, and you tell the story using what you learned about them and helping them to be successful, the next thing that you do is you've got to close, okay? So there's a couple of ways to close a cocoa check. The first way is what I call an assumed close. And if you've done a really good job, might be one of the hardest, but if you've done a really good job learning about that person and tying what you learned about them to our business opportunity, then you can use what we call the assumed close. So I might say something, well, Pam, since you told me that your husband would be very supportive and y'all really need the money right now with the changes that you're making in your life and business, and that, this money is going to go towards paying your mortgage to take the pressure off of him. And you really feel like you have about 10 to 20 hours to invest. This sounds like a perfect fit. Let's get you signed up. Okay, that's what we call an assumed close. She told me he would be supportive. She told me she needed the money. She told me what she needed it for. She told me how long she could work. I showed her how she could make the kind of money she was looking for in those hours. So wouldn't I assume that she's going to do it? I filled everything she's looking for and wanted. That's what we call the assumed close. There's another close, and it's a scale close. So maybe you're not quite as comfortable at that you've tied everything up and wrapped it up nice and perfectly on it. And you might use a scale close with that. And it might be, well, Tatiana, it sounds like this could be a really great fit for you. You seemed really excited with me sharing with you what Dove could do in your life and how it can meet the needs and wants and desires you have. And I really know that you're really excited about taking your kids to Disney World next summer, right? And we both agree that you got the time and you can make money. So Tatiana, on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being no way, 10 being where do I sign up, and 5 not being an option, where do you stand? And if Tatiana says 6 or 7, which is the most common answer, or maybe 7 or 8, but I'm going to say, Tatiana, what would it take to get you from a 7 to a 10? What's holding you back? If she says a 4, I'm going to say, oh, Tatiana, I'm surprised. You seem to really respond like this could be a good fit. Tell me what's got you all the way down to a 4 and so far away from a 10. And then she would tell me, and then I would come back. And either if it's just she's way off and I can tell there's no comfort whatsoever, maybe she's like, I've never seen a party, I can't imagine what it's like, and it's just hard for me to join something that I have no clue what it's about. Then I would say, well, Tatiana, I've got a perfect answer. Let's set up a decider party for you. That's where I'll come to a party for you. You invite your friends. I'll help you book parties. And at the end, when you see how awesome it is and the great response you get from your friends, you can decide to give the business a try. Notice I didn't say decide yes or no. I said you can decide to give the business a try. Now, of course, if she wants to say no, she'll say no. But you always want to lead people to the place you want them. Okay? So I'm leading her to a yes. So you can decide that you want to give it a try. Another one is, would be, so Amy, this sounds like this is a perfect fit. Let's just get you started. And then Amy says, oh, I don't know. I really need to talk to my husband. This is the hardest one. Or she is, I just don't know. I just need some more time to think about it. How many of y'all have ever heard that? If you haven't heard it, you haven't talked to enough people. I promise you. That one is, that's the hardest close because you've got to be bold enough to say. So Amy, tell me, when people tell me they have something to think about, that means I have not overcome and cleared everything that's standing in their way. What's standing in your way? That's probably the hardest close because you have to be very confident in yourself to keep going, because a lot of people go, oh, okay, well, call me when you decide. I mean, that's what we do in a panic, right? How many of you have done that before? I have. So you panic and go, okay, just call me. Well, they're probably not going to call you. Maybe 1 out of 10. Now, we just talked about what I call a volunteer, and that is someone like Michelle who just decided, hey, I want to do this, and went online and found somebody that was either close or just signed up under the first person she knew. And that is what I call a volunteer. If you were like Michelle and you were a volunteer, or you signed up to home office and we assigned you to someone, that's still a volunteer. You signed up on your own. If you were a volunteer, it's very important to know that you're a rare breed.
I was handed a catalog by a chocolatier. I was told she was a chocolatier. I took it home. I never got my name, never got my phone number, never followed up, never asked me for a party.
But you volunteered to join.
I called them. I called the name on the back of the catalog.
You volunteered, but that is very rare.
Yeah.
Most people have to be asked. Here's the problem with those of you that volunteered. You think, this is common, if I volunteered, others will volunteer. Well, if you want to get about 1% of the population, you just sit back and wait for volunteers, because that's not what it is. But I'm here to tell you you're not going to build a business through volunteers. In my 15 years at Tupperware, I maybe had one volunteer in 15 years. So it is not common. If you're saying, let me know if you want to do it, you're giving, remember how last week we talked about that when you don't host as coach, you're giving the result of your paycheck to your host. When you don't ask specifically and put a close to it, you're giving the destiny to the growth of your business to other people. So if you want to own it and you want to grow it, you've got to ask for what you want. And that is so important. And don't be afraid. All they can say is no. Let me tell y'all, no does not hurt the body. You know, remember the old saying, sticks and stones will hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know we have all the belief thing now, and I get all that. But the word no does not hurt you. If it does, grow up, get some tough skin, and ask again. And I'm being really tough now, but that's the truth.
Thank you.
Sticks
and stones.
We all hear no. It's going to be important to know. You're mute. You're not on mute. Hold on. Okay, gotcha. So it's really important to know that it's just a word. They're not saying, no, I hate you. No, this is a sucky business. They're just saying, no, it's not for me right now. And remember, no also doesn't normally mean no forever. No normally means no, not right now. Okay? So don't be afraid of that word. It's just a word. And you're going to hear it. And if you really want yeses, you better go out looking for no's, because you're going to get more no's than you're going to get yeses. We used to challenge our team to go out and get 50 no's. And the reason we did that is because we knew that our law of averages was if they got 50 no's, they get 5 to 10 yeses on the way. So it takes the sting out if you're looking for a no, right? Oh, I got a no, yay, I get to write it down. Oh, I got another, yay, I can write it down. Someone has a dog barking in the background. If that is you, you're not on mute. So, gotta find the dog. Who has the dog? Raise your hand and I'll put you on mute if I can see you. Uh-oh. Trying to find out. Okay, think we got it. All right. So anyway, no is not a bad word. So what I would like to do is I would like to role play a cocoa chat with someone. Like last week when we did the, I just went blank. The hostess coaching. I don't want anybody to be tough to be tough. I don't want you to be easy to be, I just want you to be natural. And I'm going to be the chocolatier, and I want you guys to hear how I do this. And then I want, afterwards, we may actually end up a few minutes early tonight, and that is so I can give you time to find one person. You have to have one person to join my Zoom meeting tonight for the Cocoa Chat. You have to have one. You can't come by yourself. And I don't care if you just call your mom and say, Mom, I can't get on this training call unless I have one person listen in. And by the way, I would love your opinion anyway. Or your next door neighbor, or your best friend, or one of your hosts this month that you can turn their party into profit. But I want you to hear me do it from a group, from that perspective, and that's the best way for me to do it. And then I want you to hear how I do it one-on-one. Now, of course, you're hearing it done via Zoom, not live, but it'll be, face-to-face in a personal location. But you are going to get a good feel for it, and you're going to hear a lot of questions. So who would like somebody that's on Zoom, not a phone, and someone that I can see your face, not your picture? Who would be willing to volunteer and role play with me? Rebecca? That's the only hand I saw. Anybody else? I'll go with Rebecca then. I'll do Lissa, because Rebecca, didn't you do it last week? All right, Lissa, I'll have you do it. I'm going to unmute you, Lissa. Okay, so Lissa, so we're gonna assume that I think you have a lot of background noise, Lissa. There's someone else. Let me try and see if it's you.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Rebecca, you want to try it? See if we get no background noise. Okay.
I'd do it, Lori, but I don't have a picture. Is that all right?
I got Rebecca. I'd rather see a face. It's easier for me. But thank
Okay.
you.
Yep.
And I know I probably shouldn't because it's on phone, but I think it keeps those that are on the Zoom more engaged if they can see the face as well. So let's say that I met somebody else just came off mute. If you're off mute, I really need everybody to stay on mute. All right, I just muted everybody. I'll go back and unmute you, Rebecca.
I'm good.
Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I keep getting someone coming off mute.
It might be me.
It might be.
It might be me. Hold 1 moment, please. We'll move.
There he is.
It sounds like a television.
Yeah, that's the husband's television.
Yeah, it sounds like sports.
That would be me.
Okay, so let's say that Rebecca is a friend of mine. She's not my best friend, but we know each other. Our kids have played soccer together. And we kind of chatted up at soccer games. We don't like hang out or anything, but we see each other at the field. And she's kind of that friend you make kind of at the soccer field, but we don't like hang out. But the other day I was talking about how excited I was about going to national conference and going to Denver. And I can't wait to find out where our next trip is to because I'm brand new. And so many of my friends got to go to Maui. I can't wait to join them. And she's like, what kind of job is that you have? And I said, well, I sell Dove chocolate. Why don't we, it was during the middle of a game, so I said, I don't want to interrupt the game. Why don't you and I meet via Zoom if we can't get together in person, and I'll tell you about it, and I'll personalize the information. So that's where we're at, okay?
Okay.
So, Rebecca, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to tell you about what I do. I don't know if it's for you or not, but let's find out because I am telling you I'm having so much fun and making money. But before I get started telling you about what I do, Rebecca, I just love to learn a little more about you. I met your husband kind of in passing at soccer, but I don't know his name. What's his name?
His name is Jeff.
Jeff. And I know you have your son, Marcus. But I think I heard you mention the other day you have a couple of other kids. Marcus, of course, the one that plays with my son, Kane. But don't you have a couple of other kids also?
Yeah, I've got 4 other little rugrats.
Oh, my gosh. How old are they?
Well, they're not all rugrats anymore, really. Marcus is the youngest. The rest are a little older. They're like, well, let's see, Vanna's going to be 15, and Derek is 18, and Taylor is 21, and Connor's just turned 18.
Awesome. So they're all fairly self-sufficient, it sounds like. I mean, I know you have to drive Marcus to practice and that kind of thing, but it sounds like for the most part, the rest of them are pretty much self-sufficient, right?
Yep.
And I remember you saying you work at a job, but they never treat you to, like, fabulous trips. What do you do?
Oh, I am a fabulous compliance associate for a big international commodities firm. It's not very exciting, and most people don't like me.
Well, I have to say, it doesn't sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but who knows? It takes all kinds, right?
Right, yeah, I guess.
Let me ask you this. If you could find something that you could invest, say, anywhere from 5, 10 to 15 hours in, and it turned you $500 to $1,500 a month in profit or more, and you could take fabulous trips, how do you think Jeff would feel about maybe having to step in a little extra and helping you out with the kids, but that you could look forward to some extra money and maybe a career change someday?
Well, he's usually pretty supportive. I think he would just want to make sure I'm not putting too much on my plate.
I totally appreciate it. Would 5 to 10 hours extra a week be too much on your plate if you knew you had control of it when the weeks were just too crazy to even do that?
If it was flexible, it probably wouldn't be very bad. I think he'd probably be okay with it.
Great. Awesome. And have you ever done anything in the home party world before, like Mary Kay or Pampered Chef or Origami Al or anything like that?
Actually, I did Mary Kay like 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Was that a good experience or a not so good experience?
Well, it was not a really great time in my life, and I tried it, and I didn't really have a lot of support, so it didn't go very far, and it was like I had to have a lot of stuff, and then when it didn't work out, I was left over with all this product, and it's been 15 years, so it's gone now, but it was okay. It didn't spoil me on the whole idea, but I wouldn't want to keep inventory again like that.
Well, good news. We actually discourage inventory. We want to ship the freshest and best products. The only really product that I keep on hand is, of course, my own personal stash for me, which is always some. But then what I need to, use at my parties as samples. And so I really don't, because, we don't want to send old chocolate to someone. This is a premium product, and we want them to get a premium product when they receive it. And hopefully, it sounds like maybe your life's better now. And you said that was a bad time. I like that you said that in the past tense. So it sounds like now would be a better time in your life, maybe, just overall in general.
In general, yeah, it's definitely a lot better than where it was.
Good, good. Well, tell me, if you had an extra, say, $500 to $1,500 at the end of every month, and I could show you how to do it in just 5 to 10 hours a week, what would you do with that money? Would you travel? Would you pay off bills? Would you pay for kids' college when I hear your kids' age? Would you buy more shoes? What would you do?
Well, I would probably put some away for college,
Okay.
but I know that I'm going to need a new car soon, and I've never had a new car. Like, I've always just had used, and kind of had some lemons the last couple times we've bought a used car. So I think I would really like to just buy new and not have to worry about it, but they're so expensive I think I've earned a nicer car by now, and I don't need a mom van since I have so many drivers. So it'd be great to be able to afford a larger car payment.
Awesome. And when you think about, do you know what kind of car you want?
I've been looking at the Jeep Cherokees, the new ones. They're pretty nice. And if I had my way, I would want the bells and whistles.
And so any idea what your car payment would look like?
I talked to a friend of mine in sales at a dealership, and it looks like it's going to be double what I'm paying right now. So like $615 a month.
Okay, I know that sounds like a lot, but think you could probably do that in just about 2 to 3 hours, maybe once or twice a week for the month. And you could have that. In fact, if you did it twice a week, if you just did a party twice a week, you could cover your car payment, your insurance, and your gas. How would that be?
That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah, because our chocolatiers that hold an average of 2 parties a week make right about $1,300 before they even start building a team, just with their profit and their commissions.
That's a lot.
It is a lot of money.
A little bit of time.
Yeah, because you're getting out, and man, what's more fun? I'm sure the whole compliance thing isn't like tons of fun and excitement.
It's not.
To going and having martinis and serving chocolate and watching people smile, right?
That sounds way better than what I'm doing.
And guess what? Everyone will like you because you're the chocolate lady.
That'd be a big change because I make everybody do trainings and have licenses right now. So I'm sure they'd like me better with chocolate.
I'm sure they would. Well, it sounds like this could be awesome for you. Tell me a little bit. I have 5 cards here. One says simple. One says fun. I have supportive, time, and money. Of those words, money, simple, fun, support, and time, which kind of word resonates with you the most when you're thinking about something like this?
Probably fun.
Fun? Oh, good. Yay, that's my favorite word. So, and I can tell by your personality, probably you're about to bust out the walls there at your company doing what you do. one of the things about our business is it is so much fun. First off, we're a party plan. So if you're not having fun, no one else is. So, it's kind of that getaway. Let your brain go and just go. But not only are you having fun, but think how much fun you're going to add to other people's lives. When you come in and you serve chocolate treats and people earn it for free and people start doing businesses and they earn trips and you help them get new cars. And doesn't that sound like a lot more fun than just coming home and doing nothing or having to go to work every day and do what you do?
Sounds a lot better than lining the inside of our CEO's pocket.
That's exactly for sure. Plus, oh my gosh, I am new to this, but a bunch of my friends just got back from Maui, and I cannot even believe that company, not only did they take them to Maui and pay for their hotel room and a beautiful resort, but they paid for most of their meals, they paid for their airline tickets, they paid their luggage fees and their taxes and everything. I mean, it just sounded incredible. They were picked up at the airport by like a shuttle or a limo bus or something like that. They pointed at their luggage and it was delivered to their rooms. I mean, and plus they had a luau one night. I mean, they did all these things for them. And these are a lot of my friends that do this really part-time alongside another job. I can't even believe it, because I know in my past world, the only people that ever got trips were the ones that were way, way, way at the top. So starting new, you just felt like, well, maybe in 20 years that'll be for me.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is that even though I'm new, I could earn that.
From what they told me, about 40 to 50% of the people that went on their trip were in their first 6 months in the business.
Really?
Yeah, I've never heard of such a thing, but it happens every year the way they set it up. So it's pretty cool.
Wow, that would be really nice, because my husband and I don't get to do a whole lot of stuff, just me and him, because of all the kids, and
right.
That would be really awesome.
That might make him even more supportive, right?
Possibly. Yeah, time away from the kids, probably.
I don't know where the next trip is to, but they've been to they said they've been to Maui, Punta Cana, St. Kitts, Aruba, and Costa Rica. So I'm sure it's not going to be, like Podunk City, New Jersey or whatever. It's, it's going to be a great place.
Anywhere with water sounds good to me.
Too, especially if it's not frozen water, right?
Preferably.
Yes. So do any of these other things resonate with you? Simple, money, time, or support?
I guess support sounds like, I think it sounds really easy and fun, but I mean, I really don't know anything. So.
Well, I want you to know that I'm going to be your number one support. And that may scare you a little, knowing that I haven't been doing it that long, except that that I made right at $1,500 my first month, because my upline leader, Rebecca, was there to help me get my business started. She and her upline, Abby, invited me to trainings. And oh, by the way, I know you like fun. Our team meetings were so much fun, and they do so many cool things. They have teleclasses. Like, I'm a kind of a learning junkie. I love to watch, trainings and learn as often as I can. But the cool thing was, they highly recommend these certain trainings, because they say if you want to be successful, do this. But then there's all these other trainings that you can get on if you have time. And some are recorded, and they're held at all different times of the day. And I know that a couple have been on my lunch hour, and even though I couldn't take the whole lunch hour off, I just put my headset on, and while I was eating lunch, I was able to listen in.
I could probably do that.
Yeah, but the nice thing is, if you can't, that's okay, But they've got like a training called Kickoff to Quick Start that they'll do. They'll probably help me do it because they're training me for leadership. And they'll help us. So it's an amazing support system. Great home office, great back office on our computers. Just a really cool thing. So I want you to know you'll feel really supported.
Awesome. That sounds good. I just, I don't get a lot of help where I work right now, and I'm kind of the only person that knows what I do. So if anybody else, needed it, I'd have to be their support person. And
right. Well, I think you'll find this. I found it. I mean, I've even gotten cards in the mail from the home office. I can't believe it. I'm not just a number. So
that's awesome.
It's really, really cool. So anything else that really is on your mind that, might hold you back, or you have a question about, like around the money or the time or how simple it is?
Well, money sounds pretty good, and it's flexible, you said, so I can just pick my own hours.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do it. I recommend kind of doing a schedule because I think you'll find you do better, but the nice thing is you're in control of that schedule. It's just I'm a real believer in consistency, and I'm learning that even more so in this business. You know, my schedule is I do parties on either Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, or Saturday mornings, and that's all I offer because with my family schedule, I just can't do any more than that in my other job. So that's my schedule. But, you know, if something comes up one week and I can't do it on the weekend, I just don't do it. Or if I know ahead of time I need to work overtime at work, I don't schedule a party for then. It's been really nice.
Well, it sounds like a really great opportunity. What happens if I try it and it really just doesn't work?
Well, which one of your kids do you want to give up? I'm just kidding.
Okay, that's good.
If you don't like it, you quit. I mean, that's the cool thing about it. We aren't going to take your firstborn. Even though there have been times you probably wanted someone to. I know that, that we've all been through that with all of our kids on a moment-by-moment basis, but not any length of time. No, it's just really you try it. And the other cool thing is if you try it and the party thing is it for you, you might just want to keep your account to buy for yourself and buy special gifts and do fundraisers or corporate gifting during the holidays. There's so many different things you're going to learn about. I just don't want to overwhelm you with them all right now. I just want to kind of keep it simple so you can see the simplicity. And as you learn and want to earn more, we'll move that way as well.
Okay, that sounds good.
Well, great. Then let's get you started. All I need you to do is log in right now to my website. It's okay, we'll stop. All right. So thank you, Rebecca. That was awesome. You did really well. So that took 18 minutes. I timed it. But it was very thorough, right? I really know. I have a relationship with her. I know her husband's name is Jeff. I know the ages of all her other kids. Because she had so many, I didn't ask her to give me names because it would have taken, you just kind of have to think through that. I know what she does for a living. I know what pushes her go buttons, a new car and fun. I know that she and her husband don't get out very much, but I know that the money talked to her and that she was going to make Jeff see how valuable it would be because of what they would get for it. So as I'm working with her now, I know exactly what to do after we get her online and signed up, and I'm going to talk to her about her launch party. I'm also going to talk to her about scheduling her first parties and when she wants to work. I'm going to ask all those questions based on what she shared with me. And I am set up to have a highly successful chocolatier now. So we have about 7 minutes left in our call tonight. What I'd like to do is of course, as we always do, I want you to take back your best learning and send that to me by email, your best learning from tonight, what you got the most out of. I want to tell you your homework in case anybody has to sign off quick. So your homework this week is, believe it or not, is to book 2 more parties and any time into June. There was not one person I talked to that said, I have so many parties I can't hold anymore. Not one this week. So 2 more parties into June. Doesn't matter when into June. I want you to do at least 3 cocoa chats, even if you're doing practice cocoa chats. If someone says, no, I'm really not interested, what can I practice on you? Use your TikTok hostess with all the parties you have on your calendar. And to recruit one, you have an $85 kit. There's no reason that we can't celebrate next week that 100% of you have a new recruit. And then your 21 days to success, of course. So 2 parties, 3 cocoa chats. So it's 1 recruit, 2 parties, 3 cocoa chats. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And work on your 21 days to success. That is your homework for this week. But I want to just take a minute before we wrap up and give you guys a chance to ask any questions that you have or point out something that was maybe an aha. This doesn't get you off the hook for emailing me, by the way. You still have to email me. Let me hear what you have to say. Or that's Rebecca. Rebecca, as the person being interviewed, I hear a lot of people say, I don't want to be pushy. Most common thing I hear, and I always tell people, if you stay focused on the other person, they'll never feel pushed. Did you feel pushed?
No, not at all.
Good. Because the whole time I kept saying, you can have this. And I never said, I want you, or I need a recruit, or I get. It was all about what Rebecca was going to get. And it's back to that. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. Any moment, Rebecca, you've been doing this a little while longer. You're a little more established than some of the other ladies on the call. Any new ahas or learnings from you from that experience?
Oh, my notebook is downstairs. But from what you and I just did right now, I could probably do better at building the relationship and learning more. I think it's and not over spilling. Like, we have so much information, it's hard not to want to just vomit it all out in front of them. And it was short and sweet, but informative, told me what I needed to know without going into more of the specific details, which I think I struggle with. And then learning more details. I think I asked the basics, but I probably should ask a little bit more, interview a little deeper, so that I can really tie it into some of the other questions when you use the food cards.
Good. Yeah, a lot of people want to say, you know, we're with Mars, we've been around for this long, this is what our parties, this is what our catalogs cost, this is da-da-da-da-da. Keep it simple, sweetie, right? People, like I said, if all that was that important, they'd be lined up around the building waiting to ask us. But they're joining you and your team and what you can offer. I think, yes, we all love that it's Mars, and we love that they're 100 years old, and we love that they're the world's largest chocolate company, and chocolate's the #1 flavor in the world. But unless their objection is, I don't like chocolate, then I don't need to bring that up. Well, here's what I understand, that you're not a big chocolate fan. However, there's a lot of men that sell women's shoes, but it doesn't mean they have to wear them. So chocolate, 83% of the world says chocolate's their favorite flavor. So it doesn't matter if you like it. You're not selling to you. You're selling something that a lot of people want. Just like women's shoes. A man can sell them because women want them, but they don't have to wear them. I don't have to eat chocolate. I am not a chocolate person, quite honestly. I can take it or leave it. Now, if I'm going to eat it, I'm going to eat ours. It's the best. But before I started working here, when I first saw Dove about 7 years ago, I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Why would I go to a party and buy candy? Because I didn't get it. But now that I realize it's not about me, it's about 83% of the world loving chocolate, then it doesn't matter if I like it or not. I just want to make a living. So that old saying, you've got to be a product of your product. The only product you've got to be a product of here is the opportunity product. And if you can believe in our opportunity, it doesn't matter if you eat chocolate or not. Okay? Other thoughts, questions, or concerns?
I have a quick question.
Okay.
I talked to my sister about selling. I think she would be wonderful at this, and she loves having parties. But when I talked to her, she said, I just hate doing sales. What would you say to that?
Well, first I'd say, when you say you hate doing sales, what do you mean by that? You don't want to assume, because what I think when someone says that might be they don't want to stand up in front of people. Okay? That may not be what's going through her head at all. It might mean I don't want to write up orders. It might mean she thinks salespeople are pushy. You know, she might have a. So when she said, the first thing I'd have to say to her is, what do you mean by that? Well, let me ask, and then listen to her and say, well, if I could show you how this is more about entertaining and giving people a fun night out, or a fun time out, would you be interested? And then, you know, have her go to a party with you and see how much fun it is. Has she been to a party?
No.
That's what the first thing I do is get her to. Does she live local?
No, she's a couple hours away, but I could make it work eventually.
Okay. Or just, you know, say, let me explain to you what we do. You know, why do you think she would be really good?
She really does love entertaining. She loves doing parties. She always has a ton of fun when she has people over.
So you could probably say something to her, you know, like everybody, they come to your parties, they love your parties. You've probably even heard, you ought to be a party planner, or you ought to do this for a living, or you're so good at this. That's what I'm offering you to do. Everybody's already told you. And if all these people are telling you that, they're not wrong. What do you have to lose for giving it a try? point out to her the things she would love about it, not the fear about it. Does that help people?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. I think that will help a lot of others as well. Anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns, or learning?
Comment.
Okay.
The other thing is people who say they're not salespeople, do they talk about their favorite restaurant? Do they talk about what they had for dinner and loved the other night? I mean, that's what I do. I love chocolate, and I want to, this has got so many different products in it. It's going to your, it's like having your own gourmet personal shopper.
That's a great point, Michelle. And I think even the first part is even more powerful, that if we are good about telling people about things we love, we're selling. So I found something very interesting. Do you guys know that, I don't know if it still is, but for the longest time, Titanic was the #1 grossing movie. And do you realize they had absolutely no advertising outside of the theater? You never saw a commercial on TV advertising Titanic. And the whole reason it became the #1 grossing movie was because people would say, I saw this, you should see this. I saw this, you should see this. It was, or I saw the previews to this, let's go to this. It never did anything outside the theater. And that was back in the day where it's not as big today, where a lot of movies don't have a lot of commercials. But back when Titanic was out, almost every movie advertised on television. And some of you may be too young to remember that, but I remember that. So I saw Joni smiling down there. Since we're similar ages, we do remember that. But it didn't. It's because people sold it to their friends by telling them how much they loved it. I remember when Remember the Titans came out, my brother lived that life. He was shipped to the black school through desegregation, and he had made the football team already at the white school. And when I went to see that movie, I went to see it the morning it came out at the first showing, and it had really bad reviews. And I remember seeing it and calling him and going, you have to go see this movie. It is your life. And we loved it so much, we took our children back that same night. And so what did I do? I sold it to my brother. I sold it to my family, right? I'd already seen it, and I went again. And then I told everybody, I'm telling you right now, if there's those of you that aren't on the phone right now, you're hearing the passion in my voice going, I never saw that movie. Maybe I should watch it, right? And I didn't say you should watch it. You're just hearing the passion in my voice, and that sells you. And that's what this business is all about. So Nicole, I think you opened up a great topic, by the way. Thanks for asking that question. And Michelle, thank you for your sharing. That was awesome. Anything else?
Lori, I got a question.
Okay.
On your post that you had put on the Facebook, on one spot it says 8, another spot it says 7:30. Since we're now at 7:03, I'm assuming it's at 7:30 my time.
Right, it's 7:30. I went back and changed the post. I did not realize I had made a mistake. But I did change the post. The live opportunity meeting will start at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Sorry for my typo.
No, I just wanted to make sure, because
I'm glad you did.
I can't do 7, but can we do 7:30? It's like, no, now I'm seeing, it's like, oh yes, here, listen. So,
I know, I just got one too. I'm like, I didn't even know about it. I'm like, okay.
So everybody
in Mobile, Alabama.
Awesome. So I'm going to give you some word choices. I'm going to challenge each of one of you to get off the phone and call one person at least until you get someone. And just say, I've been challenged. I want to go to this. We have an opportunity event that's going to last for 15 minutes tonight. And the only way I can go is to have one person join me and listen in. Would you do me a favor? I think you would be great at this, but even if you have no interest, would you just do me a favor? Listen in, and then I'll call you afterwards and you can tell me what you think about it. You can give me your opinion. And that's where you're going to learn. And just get them on, because here's the thing. So many people say no to what they don't know. And once they get on and listen, they might go, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't know that, or that sounds really good, or I could do that. So I'm going to challenge every single one of you to find one person to join you and join me back here in about 25 minutes. And I promise at the most, y'all know I'm timely. I'm over right now, but that's because I opened up for questions. We were done on time. I'm very timely, 20 minutes maximum. If I'm still talking in 20 minutes, I'll just shut up and stop and hang up. So, but I promise, 20 minutes max, okay?
All right.
Don't forget, everybody sends me their aha moments. And from tonight to register that you were part of the class. And I appreciate the, what's my word I'm looking for? Hold on. The understanding last night when I had to cancel our last night. Sorry, I had something weird going on with my head and eyes. I don't know. I think it was just fluke, but it's not happened again, and I feel great. Thank you for understanding. I apologize for missing your coaching time, those of you that were last night. But otherwise, I will look forward to seeing all of you guys in about 25 minutes, okay? Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.